Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since I've made a video, and I think I have I want to represent, so I'm gonna wear this. I always have it on though. I always have it on, so I want to represent. I want to stay representing, so I can, you know, so the youth do know that it's all possible. But nonetheless, it's been a while since I've, made a video, and to say the least. Um, a lot of Yeah, it's a trying period. Q4 2024 was a trying period where I had clients who hadn't paid in 3 months, and I just didn't know how to navigate through all that. It was just it was something else. These particular client, you know, uh, big company, right? Big company, and just recently was acquired by BlackRock last year. So it was very conflicting. It was more like, oh, they'll pay and so on and so this. But when you've been putting in work for people for 3 months and they don't pay, it gets to you. Mind you, when I was just, in the bidding process of that particular commercial office client, that very same week, because when you're going through their onboarding and so on, you have to get approvals, certification, health and safety, processes, procedures, all these different things. And that very same week was the same week I was, doing the procurement of our first solar project, the 1,000 panels we did. So I had to really have my focus on these things. And that was also the same week I had to I had an opportunity to retake my university exams, to progress on to the last year of university. And I made a decision. I picked my business. I picked my business, and it cost me. It cost me an educational setback. And when you make such a sacrifice for your business, and yes, things work out, and then boom, they fall to the ground once again, it will drive you insane. It will drive you crazy. But nonetheless, I just stayed praying. I just stayed pursuing, following up, and pretty much got in contact with solicitors to try and figure out how to come, how to sort of come around, a resolution. We didn't end up, taking a legal, but it almost got there, until they paid, really. And same clients given the same headache. And at the same time, right now, same clients given the same headache, 3 months more. But the difference now is there's a contract in place that stipulates, interest, fees charged for every single week that they miss a payment from the due date. So every single week from when they were meant to pay, we charge them 5%. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but it doesn't change the fact that this is exhausting. The reason why it's very exhausting is, I was in the process of getting cleaners and so on, during the recruitment process so they can go to that particular site. And when that particular site is giving you such issues and so many inconsistencies in payments, you can't scale. You cannot scale with that. You cannot scale. If something like that is happening, you cannot scale because there's just so many urgency problems that need to be resolved. And if the relationship started out like that, then what more in the future, and so on and so on. So at the same time, we have our service accommodation client. We're managing 2 apartments for them, and I mean, that was stress. That was stress. I thought, to just give it a try. But yeah, that was stress. I'm not too sure whether both, functions of the business would change now that I have a driving license. Yeah, I got a driving license. But nonetheless, my thoughts and my mind and the way everything has just been working, and I've been tweaking my mind and connecting the dots and just educating myself and growing my skill set. You sort of want to move away from positions or business that has the least amount of leverage, that has the least amount of margins, and just unnecessary stress. You want intended consequences. You don't really want unintended consequences, right? So I guess this video is just mainly on not every opportunity is worth pursuing. There's a cost of opportunity. A much older friend once told me that, you gotta calculate the cost of desperation before you pretty much do anything. Be it friendship, be it a relationship, be it anything, be it in business. You gotta really calculate the cost of desperation, because in as much as I am desperate, to succeed, to fulfill my goals, to, completely take care of my whole family, to relocate, and set up shop somewhere else, the business environment is just not conducive for this particular service, and it gets me thinking like, oh, do I really want to do this right now? But yeah, I mean, you see, I even look stressed. There's other things that are less, not stressful, because stress is always going to come with anything that you do. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, for someone like myself, who's a big learner, who's a big sponge, who's a hard worker, who has an ability to connect the dots, at a certain point, you just start seeing it and you just start feeling it. And you're like, man, I don't feel like right now I should be, spending all my time, all my youth, doing this particular business. Do you learn something? Absolutely. But you want to be learning things in situations or businesses that have high leverages, that have just a high upside or high concentration of wealth. The basis of cleaning was like, yes, like it's all data centric. It gets us through the door, and then we're able to provide, other services or cross sell, with the solar PV operational and maintenance that we do. And also it's sort of risk averse. There isn't a high barrier of entry, when you're running a cleaning business or providing cleaning services. But it's a low leverage skill thing. You don't need to have the biggest of brains to clean, especially things that are not specialized. Solar PV, on the other hand, that's just our little tucked away thing that, we're just going to continuously develop, because it's a blue ocean area. It's a blue ocean service area. Now, commercial cleaning for me, in my brain, was, it's not like I'm giving up, but it's just more like, because here was the plan, right? The plan was, so we have our commercial cleaning service, cool. Then we have our solar PV operational and maintenance, cool. Now, for the very same team, sales and marketing team, that's incubated in Pristine Living's, pretty much business function. The sales team, the marketing team, operations more like on the back end. These remote team members, or this remote, these remote team members, really, with the skill sets that they have. We're talking about, from the whole sales cycle, the whole sales function. Your go high level experts, to your lead generator, to your email marketer, right? To somebody who's doing the follow-ups, to the closers, to the appointment setters, right? And you have the go high level expert probably would have come around with a different name. It's just that we knew it's go high level and just started using it. But that particular individual is your automations guy. Now, provided, successfully scaling and growing, from a sales, marketing, brand, PR, streamlining processes, having systems in place, you then take that whole business function, those individuals who have managed to make it happen for you, to then make it happen for the rest of your clients. But now you're not just providing the base, cleaning service, but now you're providing a whole consultancy, service. Oh, we can help assist you in streamlining your business processes. We come into your business and actually look at what's going on, how you run your day-to-day services, right? From in-house to externally to the customer service, right? To making things much more efficient. Are you working twice as hard in something that can actually be slashed in half and then buying back your time and then focusing on more, high, return on investment activities? So that's pretty much the idea in my brain, to have that sort of consultancy firm where, it's cash flow based, and focused on B2B, because that's exactly what last year pretty much provided, working with commercial clients from facilities, cleaning their facilities, managing those facilities, to providing solar PV. And that was all in the light to heavy industry sector, renewable energy. Those are sort of the businesses that ideally I would love for the consultancy firm to have, because most of those businesses haven't caught up to, that wave of automations and online sales and online marketing and online streamlining. And also, the general bunch are not running to those businesses because they barely understand them, or they're simply very boring. You have your boring, which is your accountants and insurance companies, but no one's actually going out to EV charge point companies, EV charge point software companies, solar installation companies, solar installation system software companies, solar installations, supply companies, I just feel like that area is all untapped and there's a gap in the market for us to just kind of fit in. So that was kind of the basis, where you kind of have best of both worlds, where you're taking in that clean and retainer, but nonetheless, cleaning is so much. It's not hard, but at the same time, you still have to spend time systemizing and recruiting. And not just after recruiting, then you just have to make sure the quality control is right, and then you actually have to retain your talent. And again, it's not the most fulfilling activity. So besides money and good merit, what other initiatives do you have to really just retain your talent, retain your crew? They're not doing something specialized. If they were doing something like if they were an electrician, then he probably wanted to be an electrician for the rest of their life. Like they've always wanted to be one, But I'm not sure whether this is a case of just falling out of something. But I want to do things that excite me. And if I feel like I need to pivot, I will pivot. I can't really keep doing something for the sake of just doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when I have this, because I don't want to live here. I don't want to live in this country, live in this city, for starters, because there's just not much of a network. There's just not much of a reference point. Reference points of wealth, of abundance, of things. It's just literally people worrying about money. So I don't know. I do know. It's not like I don't know, but I'm just saying. I don't know. I do know, but I'm just saying, being around an environment where people, companies are just scraping for money or just trying to save, there isn't a flow of money. There isn't a flow, a flow of wealth. It's more like we're just trying to retain and keep and reduce as much as we can because we too are struggling and are feeling the heat of the economy. It's certain things like that I think in my good brain that just like, oh man, you know what? Pick up your calculator, man. Where's my calculator, man? We might as well just finish this degree, which we are, but we might as well finish up this degree and get a job somewhere, because, you know what I mean? So I study accounting and finance, and yeah, I mean, I guess from what I know and from what accounting and what finance can take you, and those just where it can take you, you cannot be blinded. Like literally, you can see how much other people or other industries are struggling or a certain environment. Honestly, in my personal view, I just think the UK is literally the city of London. I know it's just the city of London because I see it, right? I see it. I go to London, I see what London is. I go to Birmingham, I go to any other, cities in the country. You just look at the infrastructure, it's so outdated. No one's looking into it. They see no point. They see no point to provide money for this particular infrastructure and to fix it. The high streets. Look at the high streets. Look at everything, man. Look at what private equity has done. And I want to get into private equity, but just look at what it's done. So, hey, mark my words, by God's grace, by God's will, I am not staying here once this degree is done. I am just literally looking for a way to just have a landing to just, you know what I mean? And that's why my heart is just more falling into just this online space as it always has, as it always has, but just not providing, but just doing something different, right? Doing something completely different. If it means I'm coaching companies like the ones I used to run or the ones I used to service, then fine, but capital, cash flow, high margins, and the market, and just some level of sophistication. That's what I want, man. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm gonna get some water, drink some water, go home, make dinner, take it easy, because I don't like this feeling, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. I don't. No, I don't. When you just feel like you're just made for so much more, I'd rather deal with much more sophisticated problems. I don't want to deal with these, I can't even explain it, right? Give me much more sophisticated problems. Give me problems they dealing with in JP Morgan and Chase. Give me problems they dealing with at, the Carlyle Group. Problems they dealing with at BlackRock. Those are the type of problems I want as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, right? Those level of problems that just, the opportunity, they problems that provide high level opportunities and leverage. There's just a big high upside. And you gotta really you gotta really solve problems at a high level. Right now, I'm not solving problems at a high level. And until I do so, I'll be real honest with you, I am no longer cleaning. Like, I am no longer providing cleaning services. Facility management, you name it. Because I was made for so much more. I was made for so much more, for bigger, you know? And yeah, that's the end of our video, folks. Hopefully, in the next one, we're talking something much more different, of course. Of course, we will. It will literally be, me just echoing from this, but with action. So yeah.